What's up, my friend? In this episode, I want to share with you how to find the right Instagram hashtags for your content and how to avoid hurting your content on Instagram with the wrong hashtag strategy. And just in case if you were wondering if hashtags are even relevant anymore or if they even really matter anymore, the answer is yes, absolutely they do. And I've actually been testing this recently with my Instagram posts, and you can check the results out for yourself. And if you're sitting here wondering right now, what the heck are hashtags? Hashtags are a way for the right people on Instagram to find your content. So if you want the right people to find your content on Instagram, you are absolutely going to love this episode. So let's dive in. Welcome to episode 274. My name is Tanya Aliza, and I help you grow your business, grow your brand, and grow your influence online using social media. If you're new here, consider subscribing because I put out a brand new episode and free resource for you and your business each and every week. And I use these specific strategies in my own business and have built a multiple seven-figure brand and business. So I hope you to use these strategies to get the same results, if not better, in your world and in your business. Okay, so I want to give you my full strategy on how to find the best Instagram hashtags for your content, for your posts. Also some tips to avoid penalizing your content with Instagram. Before I do that though, it's really important for you to, number one, first thing you got to know is who is it that you are trying to attract and appeal to when you put your content out there on Instagram. So if you have a business, you're selling products and services, who is most likely the best person for your products and services? And I talk about this a ton. I will leave an episode training in the show notes below where I talk about how to design your perfect avatar or your tribe, like who is best served with your products and services. So if you don't know, go to that exercise training and do it. But that's the first thing you've got to know, who it is that you are trying to appeal to when you make your content and you do your posts. Because if you don't know who it is that you're trying to appeal to, it's going to be really difficult for you to come up with a really good Instagram hashtag strategy. Because hashtags, again, if you remember, are a way for the right people to find your content. So if you don't know who the right people are, it's going to be really difficult for you to gap that bridge, right? So who is it that you are trying to attract with that post specifically and that piece of content? That's the first thing you kind of got to ask yourself when you go into finding the right Instagram hashtags. And I think it was episode 264 that I'll link to in the show notes, where I teach you how to stop confusing your audience with your posts and to attract better business. So make sure that you go over there and you know who it is specifically that you're trying to attract in your business with your brand. So now that you know who it is that you're trying to attract, how do you find the right hashtags? Okay, before I dive in, I've got something actually special that's just come up, and I would like to share this with you, and it falls so in line with this because most people think they just need more followers and they need more people to see their content on social media, when the reality is that if you have a business, it's not about followers, it's not about how many people necessarily see your stuff, it's all about revenue. It's about how much money are you making and how are you utilizing your social media strategy to make money. That's most important when you have a business. So right now I have a masterclass when I'm filming this. So depending on when you're watching this, I have a masterclass that's free that you can tune into, and it's called my Revenue Multiplier Masterclass. In this masterclass, I take you behind the scenes of my multi-million-dollar online business, and I share with you my 3 smart marketing secrets that help you to attract perfect buyers all day, every day from social media. When you're doing these posts and you're applying this hashtag strategy, then you're going to be able to capture the attention of these people and move them through your buying process. That's really important to know how to do. So this masterclass will show you exactly how to do that. So coupled with this free training here, the masterclass is going to take it to the next level. So if you want to see it on the free masterclass, then go to the description of where you're watching this video, click the link, or you can go to tanyaaliza.com/class and you can get registered for free for the masterclass. And I take you behind the scenes and I show you more in depth, once you get the attention from people on social, how to turn them into a buyer. That's ultimately most important. And you couple it with using this hashtag finding strategy. Okay, so I'm going to show you on my phone how to find the hashtags. But what I want you to do is also make these notes. Number one, make sure whatever hashtags that you're using and that you're finding and you're going to use on the post, make sure that it is relevant to your content. That's going to be most important, because if it's not relevant, relevant, number one, it's not going to help you, but number two, it's going to also hurt your Instagram algorithm, which you want the algorithm to be working for you, not against you. So make sure whatever hashtag you use, it's relevant to the actual content that you're posting. Now, what I like to do, because again, I love working smarter, not necessarily harder, is I like to go to other Instagram accounts that have the same audience, or maybe competitor accounts or alliance accounts, if you don't want to call them competitor accounts, and go and see the hashtags that they're using. That will start this flow. You can start to create a hashtag list in like a spreadsheet or a Google sheet, and you can get ideas at least to springboard from your other Instagram accounts that have a similar audience of which you want to attract. So that would be where I would start in trying to find the best Instagram hashtags for your content. So here's what you would do, and this is a really quick hack and I love it. You can use Instagram search to find top accounts and hashtags and posts already using these hashtags to get some really good ideas and to build out your hashtag list that you're going to use for your content. So when you go to Instagram, what you're going to do is you're going to click the magnifying glass at the very bottom, and what you're going to do is you're going to search keywords. So think about who it is that you're trying to attract, number one. And then number two, think about what it is that your content is about. So for example, let's say you're a realtor and you're trying to attract more business, and your post has to do with a real estate tip or home buying tip or home selling tip. In this case, you can type in the keyword real estate tips. And then what you're going to see is a list of the top accounts that have that keyword in the name of the Instagram accounts. And you can go and check on those and see what hashtags they're using. But what I like to do is I like to click see all results. And then when you do that, you're going to see some tabs at the top. It's going to say top accounts, audio tags, places. So the top that it kind of defaults to is actually the top posts that have to do with that keyword. And so what you can do is you can go to those top posts and you can look at what hashtags they're using. And some of these hashtags are going to be relevant, and you can actually use them and create a hashtag list for your own post that you're going to use. And some of them might not be super relevant, but these are going to give you really good, you're going to be able to find really, really good hashtag examples from this strategy. You can also go back and you can look at the top accounts with those with that keyword. And then if you go to that top account, if you find that it's relevant to your brand and your business, you can look at some of their posts that they do, and you can see if they're using hashtags and what hashtags are they using, and can you use any of those hashtags if they're relevant to your brand, your audience, or also the content that you're posting. Another thing that you can do is you can go to the top tags. This is what I like to do. And related to that keyword that you're searching, it's going to give you the top tags, which are the hashtags that you can utilize with your content as well. Now, what I also recommend to do is if you find hashtags that you're like, ooh, this is totally my jam. Like, I know my audience follows these hashtags or would love these hashtags, or my content and my business and my brand has everything to do with these hashtags. Like, this is perfect. Then what you can do is you can actually follow hashtags, and I would recommend that you do follow the hashtags that are most relevant to your brand, so that when new posts or reels or stories come and they're using that hashtag strategy, they come up in your feed and you can see that, and you can utilize that as well to see what other hashtags they're using for more hashtag ideas. And again, you can also go to this feed of all of the posts that are using this hashtag, and you can click on any of those posts and you can see what other hashtags they're using that you can create, you can swipe and use in your strategy as well. And any of those relevant ones that you see, put those on a list that you can use for your content when you post on Instagram. Now, you can see by using that strategy that there's so many things that can give you ideas, and you don't even need to be thinking about like what hashtags are popular, like what are people using. Like, the data is right there. You just have to go and do your research and then create little lists of hashtags that you pull from. Now, it is really important that you also know what can hurt your Instagram hashtag strategy in your content so that you don't do these things. Number one, I already mentioned it, but using using irrelevant hashtags can actually hurt your content. Number 2 is using too many hashtags can actually hurt your content. Instagram recently announced an article on how many hashtags is a good kind of acceptable amount to use, and you'll hear contradictory things. I personally say that 3 to 5 hashtags per post is optimal. However, I wouldn't go over 10. That would be my professional advice to you, at least at this moment in time when I'm shooting this video. Using the same group of hashtags over and over and over can also hurt your posts. Instagram's algorithm can see how many times you're using that group of hashtags. So if you think that you're going to create one group of hashtags and then use that for all of your posts and all of your content, I would think twice. I would mix it up a little bit and use hashtags that are different, a different variation of combination group of hashtags on each content piece. Now, this is also really cool. You can actually see which posts and the hashtags you're using on each post are actually bringing you the most followers or engagement. So when you're on Instagram, after you've posted your content, you can go back like a few hours later or maybe a few weeks later. It doesn't matter. You can go and do this for any of your past posts. You can go to your past posts and actually click View Insights, and it's actually going to show you how much interaction you got based on hashtags. And so you can actually see how your hashtags are actually working for you, which is something very cool to pay attention to. Okay, so as you can see, building a hashtag strategy and how to find the best hashtags for your posts, it really can be that simple. So I really just wanted to give you a roadmap to be able to do that. And here's what I recommend that you do. Make life really simple. You don't have to do hashtag research every time you do a post. I would spend about an hour doing hashtag research, create a list of hashtags that you can pull from every time you do a post. So basically it's copy, paste, and use a variant different group of hashtags on each post, not the same group like I mentioned. So do the research once and then have that work for you for months and months and months ahead. Don't research every time you have to post. That's going to take up a lot of time. Just a little pro tip for you. All right, my friend. So it is one thing to get the most eyeballs and followers and things like that on your posts on social media, but the most important thing is actually generating sales and revenue from your posts on social. So again, like I mentioned before, I really hope that you join me on this free masterclass that I have going on right now called the Revenue Multiplier Masterclass, where I take you behind the scenes of my multiple 7-figure business and I show you my 3 smart marketing secrets that allow me to attract perfect buyers each and every day using social media without spending all day on social media. That's the kicker, right? So you can go to tanyaaliza.com/class and get registered for that depending on when you're watching this video. There'll be some times that you can hopefully secure a spot. You'll thoroughly enjoy if you have a business and you sell products and services and you really want to leverage out and maximize your efforts on social media, not only for the vanity metrics, but for sales and revenue for your business, which is most important. All right, my friend, if you found value, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what you loved most. Give it a thumbs up, give it a like. And if you know anybody else that would find value in this episode, share this with them. I'd be most grateful that you did. And I will make sure to see you next week on Tanya Aliza TV.